Hi, I'm Dani Gasparini, and welcome to this segment of PenVoice. I am joined today by Sheila Canzian, who is the director of San Mateo Parks and Rec. So, Sheila, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming on the show again. I love having you as a guest because there's always something amazing happening in San Mateo. We were talking about ice skating rinks prior to coming on the show starting, but tell us a little bit about all of the different aspects that San Mateo has to enjoy with their parks and with their recreation programs.
Well, I think we're so proud of our park system. We have 33 parks in San Mateo, everything from 180 acres up at Sugarloaf and Laurelwood, which is a really open space hiking area, down to the shoreline where we have the bike trails and the dog park and beautiful bay fronts all along the bay area, and everything from a little quarter-acre playground to community parks like Central Park and Beresford Park that a lot of people know about.
Numerous ball fields.
We have ball fields. We have 5 community centers. We have 2 swimming pools. We have a marina lagoon that people can water ski on. So we're just so blessed in San Mateo.
Right. Obviously a great commitment to activity, family, fitness, good life, health, all of those wonderful things.
All of those.
But we're going to segue from that because really what we're here to talk about is a very special occasion that's happening, and that's to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Japanese garden, which was constructed within Central Park.
Yes, it was.
So tell us a little bit about how that came about and what are some of the celebrations that we're going to realize. So,
in 1963, San Mateo joined the Toyonaka, Japan in a sister city relationship. Sister city developments were really big then.
Right.
And so it was really important. There was a very large Japanese community that lived in San Mateo. And so following that, they really decided how could they solidify the relationship between Toyonaka and San Mateo. First thing that came to their mind was, let's do a Japanese garden. And so the city decided to dedicate an acre in Central Park for a Japanese garden. It was mostly constructed through volunteer labor. All of the Japanese gardeners in San Mateo donated hours.
And again, this is going back to
1965,
mid-60s,
66. There was, most of the material for the garden was donated. And so in 1966, it opened, and it has bof flourishing ever since that time.
And now have volunteers maintained it over the years, kept it, all of the various rock areas and all of the continue to make sure that it's beautiful. And
we do have volunteers that come in and assist. Over the years, we've had 3 Japanese garden curators that have specifically been dedicated to the Japanese garden. And that's really their focus, is just taking care of that 1 acre garden and then the immediate landscaping right around it. So when you enter the park, you know you're coming into the Japanese garden.
So you're about to celebrate your 50th anniversary. So what are some of the activities that are going to happen?
So we
when? We should make sure we say when.
So we really decided that rather than having just one event, that we wanted to have a series of events during the month of August. And so starting in the beginning of the month, every Thursday night from 5 to 7, the Japanese garden will be open, and we will have docents that will be able to guide people through the garden. And actually visiting the garden at dusk is really one of the most pleasurable times to do it. And most of the time our garden closes at 4 p.m. So being able to keep it open from 5 to 7 and being able to have docents in there is going to be a real experience. And then every Sunday, we're going to be having a different set of activities in the garden. So we're going to be doing traditional Japanese tea ceremony inside the tea house, which is rarely opened to the public. We're going to be doing the second Sunday a bonsai demonstration in the garden. The third Sunday, we're going to be doing a martial arts demonstration on the stage outside of Central Recreation Center. And then the main event is really on Saturday, August the 27th, where we're having an open house in the garden starting at 5:30, and then we're going to be having a dinner and reception inside the rec center starting at 6:30.
So you mentioned a lot of activities just now. Where can people go to ensure that they remember all that you said, and do they need to sign up? Is there a fee?
Some of the things like the tea ceremony we are going to be charging for, but all of the information is on the city's website. So www.cityofsanmateo.org/50th Tea Garden.
And people won't even have to remember that because we're going to put it up on the screen.
Perfect.
So when you see it on cable television, people will see it. So they just go to that particular site on the website, and then will they need to register for some things even if there isn't a fee, or can most of the time people just show up and enjoy
Other than
the activities?
The tea ceremony and the actual dinner that we're hosting on the 27th, everything else is drop-in.
Okay.
So people don't need to register. They can just come on by. I think most activities start around 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, and they're in the garden for a couple of hours.
Okay. And I would imagine for folks that perhaps are need wheelchair accessibility or have a little bit of mobility issues, you're able to get through the gardens.
Absolutely.
Right.
There is no accessibility issues at all. All the pathways are wide enough for people to be able to travel around.
Great, great. And I love the idea that we're going to get access to some things that we normally would be able to just view from the outside.
Correct.
And some time frames that'll work for people during the week and perhaps with families on weekends.
Well, and that's why we wanted to make sure that we weren't just having one event, because one event people may not be able to get to. It may not be convenient for families to come out on a Saturday night, and so having a series of events is something that we thought was really important for public access this year.
So will people see anything new with regard to the garden, or is this just sort of the historical path of showing its original state and really it's just been maintained over the 50 years? Are there new segments of the garden that we are looking at?
There are no new segments of the garden, so everything that is there, with the exception of a couple of things,
is really original and historic.
Is really original. I think the primary feature that people focus on is the large 5-tier pagoda that is on the back of the garden. That was originally donated and given to San Mateo by our sister city, Toyonaka, when the garden was open.
Wow.
So that really is the focal point of the garden.
And the architect that originally designed will tell us a little bit about them and how they got their designs for the park.
So the original architect was a gentleman by the name of Nagao Sakurai. He was a landscape architect originally for the Imperial Palace over in Tokyo and moved to the United States. And
so real authentic garden.
They sought him out. He lived over in Berkeley at the time, and he was the one that really designed the garden. And so we're proud of the ancestry and the history that it comes with as well.
Right. So prior to us starting the show, we were talking about this one segment of all of the amazing things that you have with regard to open space and parks and recreation programs. You have a park that just opened, and so why don't you tell everybody about that, where it is, so that we can make sure that we, when we're visiting the Japanese garden, we can also head over and visit the new park.
So we just opened last weekend a brand new playground at Beresford Recreation Center. So it's up on 28th and Alameda. It is custom designed. There is not another playground in the world. Every piece was custom designed.
You heard it here first.
Every piece was custom designed for San Mateo. It was actually shipped over from Sweden, and so it is just an exciting, brand new playground that we opened up at Beresford.
Well, I have to give your department a lot of credit because I know there was a lot of community outreach and involvement in designing and giving feedback as to what they wanted to see for this park. And
Absolutely.
I commend you
Absolutely.
for
Thank you.
really creating this community park of what people wanted to see for their families and children.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, Sheila, we're out of time. Can you believe that we've already talked about our Japanese garden and also our Beresford opening. So just encourage everyone to jump on the website, see when it is. And other than those two things, visit San Mateo because there is, as you said, so much opportunity for people to enjoy outdoors and fitness and family and fun.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Sheila. And we'll see all of you next time on PenVoice.